Hello, everybody. Keaton Gillogly with you, and today we are joined by Marc Roche. He was the video coordinator for the Nuts in 2019. He has actually had a very interesting path since the end of the 2019 California League season. But Marc, first, let's just start. Hello, and how are you?
Hey, Keaton, how's it going? Thanks for having me. Doing good. The best I can be doing. Just trying to stay busy. Back home in Worcester now, and just, yeah, trying to stay busy each day. Keeping my fingers crossed that we get some good news soon. But how you been?
I'm good, man. Just getting an opportunity to talk to a lot of the guys and share some stories. What's your quarantine routine right now?
Waking up, walking my dog, reading a lot of books actually, which is might be surprising to some of the Nuts guys last year. I don't know, but reading some good books, watching a lot of Netflix, playing a little bit of MLB The Show, just trying to stay busy. It's kind of all over the place, hitting some golf balls in the backyard. Other than that, yeah, just taking it day by day.
Any recommendations? Any good book recommendations that you're reading right now?
Yeah, I'm reading For the Good of the Game by Bud Sealing. That's actually a pretty good one. Um, You Are Worth It by Kyle Carpenter, who's a United States Marine. And then I'm going to read Buzzsaw. It's the story about the Washington Nationals last year. And The Cubs Way. I think you'd be interested in that one. That one's a pretty good read too.
What about Netflix? What are some of the Netflix recommendations you got for us?
I just finished season one of Ozark. I'm kind of behind, but that was a pretty good season. Been watching Chicago PD. Uh, Saw one episode of Tiger King. It's pretty good. I just haven't continued it, but it's just trying to watch anything really, taking recommendations too.
All right, well, let's get into your timeline recently. So, for people who don't know, the video coordinator positions are usually 1 year positions, kind of entry level positions. Is that right?
Yeah, in my case, I was with the Mariners in Clinton in 2018, and grateful to be brought back and stick with the group that we had with the coaching staff and most of the players. And after that, yeah, it's usually a 1-2 year thing.
So, by getting into that, what's your ultimate goal in baseball?
Honestly, just be able full time anywhere, kind of get out of the internship grind and be able to be stationed, whether it's in Arizona or a big league city, and working in a scouting department or a player development department, anything really. I'm game for anything, trying to keep learning and keep working hard, keep my head down, and make the right impressions everywhere.
And that's, I think, why your story is interesting and cool, and a story that I don't think it's told a lot about, the guys who are making those big decisions eventually down the road and kind of where they came from. And you're kind of in that space right now. So, you had a job lined up for after the minor league season in 2019. What was that job lined up?
Right. So I went back home to Massachusetts. I was an assistant coach and director of baseball operations at UMass Boston, a D3, and one of the top D3 teams in the country. And it was a very awesome opportunity. I emailed the coach in July, August, because it was something I wanted to do, maybe get on the coaching side of things. And went out there, had a great fall season. It was very short, 1 month fall season. Met a lot of the guys, obviously the coaches, all that, and was learning. Went to coaching convention in Nashville with the coaching group out there, and it was great. Learned a lot, and yeah, we had the roster we had, and it's looking very good. And had a strong start to the spring. Went 3-1, and then obviously everything went down like the day we were supposed to go to Florida, and it was just hectic. And now it's done, but still doing stuff with them, staying in touch with the guys, doing class checks, running our Twitter account, all that. So still staying busy, and yeah, it's just a shame that everything went down the way it did, and I was looking forward to that season for sure.
Now, we've heard perspective from the guys who were at spring training about the day that baseball shut down, but you were obviously, as you mentioned, in the college ranks. What was your perspective of the day that your season ended?
Right. So it was pretty hectic. I mean, luckily we got a couple games in Boston. It was a little chilly. Had a couple nice days and played 4 games, and we had 2 practices the day before March 11th. We were supposed to go to Florida, and I think the ninth, it was, like, after our game, our coach was like, I don't have a good feeling about this, and we're all like, nah, come on, like, you're joking, like, you're a head coach, like, we don't want to hear that. And he's like, no, I'm serious. Like, stuff's about to go down. Like, the chancellor and the ADs and all the other leagues are kind of getting cold feet. And the next day, the 10th, we're still on still waiting. Like, we don't have a confirmation that we're going. And we saw teams that were already in Florida canceling their trips, sending teams home. And then the NESCAC, just Tufts, Amherst. Once Amherst College canceled their season, it was, oh boy, like, we might be in trouble. And then the night of the 10th, our coach was like, Florida trips canceled. Like, dang, that stinks. Like, but we're still planning to get games in at UMass or wherever. And then Connecticut's banning teams from traveling, so we couldn't play those schools. And then like Tufts canceled their season, and then it just all kind of happened very quick. And then like, okay, like, we'll give it a week, give it 2 weeks, and then we'll hopefully still be able to play. And then leagues are canceling the rest of the seasons, and then we got ours canceled, and just happened so quick. And I feel so bad for the seniors and everybody, and just all the hard work that got put in, just for nothing really. And it was just crazy. And yeah, it stinks for sure. I mean, yeah, it was just happened so quick, and kind of just still shocked really that it's a thing that's going on.
From the college perspective, this is going to create a real roster crunch for a lot of programs around the country. What's it like seeing some of these seniors have their season and careers ended, but also having the opportunity for some of the guys to come back while teams and programs are welcoming freshmen in as well?
Right. I mean, so for us, I know our starting center fielder, a great player, leadoff hitter, great in the outfield, like huge asset. He told our coaches, like, yeah, I'm not coming back. I have a job lined up. And it's like wish we could have you, but we might have our starting first baseman or our left fielder come back. They're still kind of waiting on things, whether it's jobs or grad school, stuff like that. And then, yeah, like the freshmen, like our roster's pretty big right now. And obviously that's why we have fall ball, like run if guys aren't coming back in shape or stuff like that, or their arms aren't where they should be, kind of wait and see. And then obviously with the transfers and all that, we have people reaching out to us wanting to transfer in and play for us. And we've had conversations like that where I think we've had 6-7 guys reach out now, and we've already talked as a coaching staff, like, we'd like that guy or not that guy, or let's wait and see if we could get someone else, whether it's a D1 transfer or a JUCO transfer with better numbers, something like that. So, I mean, it's going to be pretty hectic, and there's still a lot of work to be done. Obviously, with the whole, we can't recruit for our 2022 or 2023 class as of now because everything's on hold. So the summer is kind of a big question mark, whether it's recruiting. So, I mean, to be able to have guys reach out is great, but at the same time, the roster is definitely the tricky part of things for sure.
Now, beyond what you're doing at UMass Boston, you had some other things lined up for the summer. This was going to be a fun 2020 for you. What was the timeline of getting some of these other opportunities you were about to have this summer?
Right. So I actually took a job with the Rockies to go to AA, and kind of the same role, video player development. They reached out to me in about January and said, hey, this opened up. It's in Hartford. It's about 30 minutes from my house in Worcester. I get to live at home, all that, not find a place in Hartford, pay rent, whatever. And it was a unique situation where I didn't have to go to the away games, whether it's in Portland, Maine, or Binghamton, New York, or places like that. And thought that was really cool. At the same time, I mean, you can't beat traveling with the team, with the guys. I know we had a lot of good memories, the bus trips and all that. But it was cool. So I wanted to take the opportunity to be able to go out and work with the scouting department or work with our area scouts, whether it's at college games, whether it's at Boston College or Northeastern, Holy Cross, stuff like that, and get my feet wet in that aspect. And then this summer I was going to work the Cape League, and hopefully, and fingers crossed, still be able to work the Cape League and with the scouts and all that, and get my feet wet still in that, and be able to meet new people and work my butt off in that aspect, and keep my fingers crossed that there still is a Hartford season where I can do that and meet the coaching staff in that player development department and all that, and be able to make the right impression on guys. But it's still, like I said, it's just a crazy time right now.
Well, let's get back into what was a crazy time, but for good reasons, and talk a little bit about the 2019 season. What are some of your favorite moments from the 2019 season with the Nuts?
Oh, I mean, the playoff push was great. Obviously, it didn't work out in our favor, but the energy that the guys brought every day, whoever we called up or brought in from Arizona, whether it was a Will Rott or a Penn Murphy that came to us in April or May and didn't know if he was staying around, and he got the call from Max, and he's like, "You're staying," and we all went nuts because he's a great clubhouse guy. He's a hard worker, and I was watching a video yesterday about Umbria saying the Lancaster comeback, the first series of the year, and I just knew we had a great team. Then I remember walking in the clubhouse after the game saying, "Oh man, like we're nasty. Like we just 4 game swept them, came back from 9-0. Like this is gonna be a great year." And then another thing I was thinking about yesterday was the punch out record that Rob wanted us to break. That was insane. And I remember I was looking at videos on my phone of us in the clubhouse breaking the April record, I believe. I think guys would obviously come into the clubhouse seeing what guys were throwing and all that velocity wise and watching it from a different perspective. And I have videos of us going nuts when we broke the April record with I think someone got called up from Arizona and ended up breaking it. But just the energy and the group, the coaching staff, all the players, it was just a really fun time. Very grateful for it and the relationships and all that for sure.
You know, in your young career, you're getting a lot of interesting experience, both on the player development side. You're kind of able to connect with the players, so see things from the player point of view in a lot of ways. You're working with a lot of the data and the video, but you had a chance to do some coaching this year now too. So, my question is, looking at the coaching staff the Nuts had in 2019, what were some of the things that you picked up from them that you found yourself using this year while you're at UMass for the time that you did have?
Right. I mean, just looking back on obviously Denny and Louie and Umbria and Rob just being the same guy every day, just being able to be available to everybody, whether it's a pitcher or a hitter, just being able to relate to those guys too. I mean, I'm young, I'm 24, and there was a kid on our UMass team that was 24, so it's like we can kind of joke about things that were old, all that, and then even the freshmen too. The freshmen coming in, looking up to you, asking questions, whether it's about pro ball or my time in college a couple years ago, all that, just asking about those teams and players and just different situations and being able to relate to those guys and being able to have an open mind, and whether it's learning a new thing, whether it's looking on Twitter for a video or YouTube or just trying to get better yourself and then helping your guys get better too. I mean, looking at Louis Boyd, I mean, I still talk to him frequently and just seeing his attitude and watching him being a player the year before and being able to separate himself as a coach and earning the respect of guys. I mean, he was always had everyone's respect, and being able to still joke around and have fun and be able to attack each day with a positive attitude and still have fun and get the most out of the guys for sure.
Being around a lot of those D3 guys at the college ranks, what were some of their questions to you about professional baseball?
Just I guess that's a good question. I mean, just guys, the way they went about their days, like whether it was a routine or approach at the plate, slumps, all that stuff, and everyday work, whether it's tee work or infield stuff or outfield stuff, just asking just questions or just funny stories. Like I told them about bus karaoke, and I think they had something called Beacon's Idol where whatever road trip we were supposed to go on, everyone had to do a bus karaoke song basically. So I thought that was pretty cool. And just wanting to just get the experience living through me vicariously, I think, and showing them videos of guys, whether it's their routine, like just at bats, honestly, and strikeouts, like obviously all that, Rob preaching, punching tickets, all that, just being able to show everyone's different mentality and how everyone's different, but we can relate in the way we work, our work ethic.
Who are some of the guys you're talking to most frequently from the 2019 team during the shutdown?
Uh, Taylor Bennett for sure, just whether it's about golf or anything really, anything to do with him. I know he's out in Arizona. He was working big league camp, just keeping in touch with him. Johnny Adams, of course. I mean, he's been one of my closest friends for the past couple of years. Louis Boyd, talked to him pretty frequently. Denny, I was talking to him about some Netflix shows and all that, getting his recommendations for sure. And I talked to Mikey here and there a little bit. Yeah, that's about it. Jack Larson a little bit. Some of the guys from Clinton, all that. Bochy, Penn. I saw Penn got a new leg tattoo, so I asked him about that. Told him it was pretty killer. So yeah, just trying to stay in touch the best I can. And yeah.
Who are some of the guys who have had to be the most creative in the way they're getting their off season or shutdown work in right now, whether it's they're working out or finding ways to get swings or just throwing a little bit?
Yeah, I mean it's weird because you got to do everything at home, and maybe some people don't have the resources, whether it's a cage at home or a net at home, or a wall to throw yourself ground balls or something like that. But I don't know. I've seen a lot of stuff out there, whether it's, I know the Mariners are posting stuff about Evan White using a wall or using his kitchen or living room, stuff like that. Just getting creative any way you can, really.
Well, Marc, we really appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for sharing a little bit of your story and talking about how you're handling all of this. And be safe, man. Be safe. We'll be out of the diamond before you know it.
For sure. Thanks, Keaton. Appreciate you having me as always, and best of luck to you. And we'll be in touch soon for sure. And keep those fingers crossed that we get some good news soon.
All right, Roche. Have a good one. Thank you.
You too. Thanks.
From a desk, no, not